Why exactly is it that life is so unaffordable in the United States of America in 2025 going into 2026? After all, Donald Trump and the Republicans said that they were going to make America great again. They were going to return this country to a prosperous time where everything was easy for all of us. Oh, wait, no. That was just for the oligarchs. It was just for the robber barons. It was just about instituting an era of grift, overt corruption, graft, all of us in the working class being treated like cogs in the machine to enrich the already bloated, obscenely rich oligarchy in this country. There never was any greatness in mind for us, the working class people of this country. But I've been asking folks for a couple of weeks, like, what is it for you that's unaffordable? How has your life changed this year in terms of economics, in terms of looking at your piggy bank, in terms of your spending? What's different for you? And I got lots of people saying, well, I'm having to cut back on life's little luxuries, right? I no longer go out to movies. I don't go to sporting events. I don't eat out at all anymore. People in my comments are like, I can no longer afford soda or my favorite chocolate bars, right? Like very tiny little luxuries that we should be able to enjoy. Because let's be really clear here, as much as there is this kind of like, I don't want to call it poverty porn, but as much as there is this kind of obsession with frugality, and I am somebody who is extremely frugal and leans very much into make it from scratch, living within a budget, living simply. There is this kind of weird obsession, adoration of extreme frugality in a way that's like you in the working class, you should be content with the scraps that you have. And if you aspire for more, if you desire more, if you want more, if you want to have a little taste of anything that is entertaining, anything that is luxurious, anything that is beautiful or delicious, like you're reaching above your station, right? You should be content with what you have and don't be greedy. As somebody who has come out of evangelical America, well, I was Reformed Calvinist America, that is very much a sentiment, especially for like homeschool moms who have a bunch of kids and y'all are living right on the cusp of poverty. You have to make all your sourdough and your yogurt from scratch. You're sewing your kids' clothes. You're buying everything at the thrift store. You're cooking everything from scratch. You're cooking in bulk. You're learning how to economize. It's like a badge of honor how far you can stretch every penny, how extremely frugal you can be, how much deprivation you can experience, how hard you can work, right? Because it's either money or it's life hours, right? We spend in terms of money or life hours. And there is this expectation, especially for trad wives, especially for women in conservative America, that we will pay with our life hours. That's like a good and noble thing, that is a good thing for women to suffer and struggle to provide for everybody else. After all, we're caretakers, right? And again, I say that as somebody who like very, very proud of my homemaking skills, very proud to be a homeschooling parent. I think that whole narrative is a bunch of shit. It's been fed to us. We have been indoctrinated to believe that our suffering is good and righteous and will like store up treasures in heaven for us or something like that. Who do you think drives the narrative that working class people should be fighting for the scraps, that we don't deserve good things, that we are greedy and selfish if we want a little bit, if we want to go out to eat now and then, if we want to have a vacation here and there, while Europe has like all of the month of August for paid vacations, if we want to not struggle quite so hard, we are told that is selfish. After all, we should embrace the Protestant work ethic in this country. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. The American dream is yours. And if you're not wealthy, it's clearly a moral failing on your part. It's clearly because you're not working hard. You're not slaving away hard enough for the man. Who do you think feeds us all of that line of bullshit? We live in the wealthiest nation on earth where we could very, very easily have universal health care. We could have college paid for. Poverty could be ended. There is no reason for 47 million Americans to experience food insecurity on a regular basis. All of that ugly, awful reality of living in the United States occurs because we don't tax the super rich. Who do you think is telling us we should be content with the scraps? Who do you think is telling us that it's our lot in life to struggle? Who benefits from that narrative? Could it be people like Jeff Bezos, who spend $60 million on a wedding? Could it be people like Donald Trump, who have seen their wealth increase 3, 4, 10-fold since the beginning of the year? Could it be the super rich men who are getting billions of dollars in government contracts, taking billions of dollars of our tax money to buy cyber trucks and to do space mining? to run concentration camps in the United States? Could it be those folks who have a vested interest in saying, don't tax the rich? No, you don't want any of that. Just add some more oats to your meatloaf, right? Stretch that a little bit thinner. Embrace Great Depression era frugality, because those were the good times in America. That's good for you. That's noble of you to economize in that way. It's not economizing. It's telling working class people you should never aspire to be comfortable. You should never aspire to have a good quality of life. And all of life's luxuries are beyond you. You are not deserving of any of those, but the super rich are. People who've watched my content for a while know my great disdain for celebrities and celebrity culture, because it is that conspicuous consumption in a country where millions of children live on the cusp of poverty. We have this in-your-face, let them eat cake, overt display of absolutely grotesque wealth, and we are supposed to we're supposed to applaud that? We're supposed to be entertained by that? That's the bread and circuses that's supposed to keep us pacified. Except in the United States now, like, they're taking away the bread and the circuses. Sure, we have celebrity culture, but we can't afford to go to the movies. We can't afford to pay for our streaming services. We can't afford to go to sporting events. And God knows we're struggling to afford food. And in fact, I had somebody in my comments the other week who was like, Angela, why are you always wearing wool sweaters? Why do you always have a hot water bottle? Is your house really cold? And I was like, yeah, my house is really cold. But all across the United States, do you not understand? It's not just food that's gone up. It's not just rent that's gone up. It's not just that our wages have not gone up in a way that matches the increased cost of living. Utilities have gone up. In the wealthiest country on earth, people are trying to decide, can I run the heat? Can I pay my gas bill? Or, like, low key, am I going to have my water shut off this month? Trump said the affordability crisis in the United States is a hoax and a con job, and that there's nothing wrong, and we should all be content. We shouldn't look at our bank accounts. By the way, most Americans have less than $8,000 in the bank. When I say that the average working class American is one crisis away from homelessness, that is not an exaggeration. Upper middle class people in the United States are two crises away from homelessness. It's insane to me that we are taught to be content to live like this as they continue to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. As I said in a video yesterday, they're trying to get blood out of a turnip. There's nothing left. We're supposed to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And increasingly in the United States, we don't have access to any of those three. All three of those are in jeopardy for pretty much all of us except the super rich. They want us to be content, to fight over the scraps, to believe that we deserve so much less than we actually do. One of the reasons I'm always talking about how we need to dream of the future that we want to build, we need to envision the kind of America that we want to live in, is because I want all of us to believe that we deserve good things. I want us to envision the quality of life that we should have access to, and then come together and organize and strategize and implement in order to create that better version of America that we deserve, our children deserve, one that will not only be sustainable, but will bring us abundance. Like, we have so much wealth in this country. There is no reason it should be consolidated amongst a couple hundred people up here while hundreds of millions of us struggle. There's no reason for it to continue to be this way. I understand how much indoctrination there is. I understand how many people vote for their own oppression. I understand how many people were lied to by a faux populist, and they believed what he said when he lied to them and said he would make America great for them. I understand all of that. But the truth is that we have more than enough to go around. If we just taxed the super rich their fair share, if we did things like institute a wealth cap. I've talked about this book, Limitarianism, that I read recently, where the author says, what about $10 million? That seems like more than a reasonable amount for any person to have. We're not saying everybody should live some kind of ascetic lifestyle. We're not saying that this is like communism and everybody gets exactly the same amount. We're saying, like, who needs more than $10 million to have a good quality of life, especially when millions and millions live in poverty? Like, why is it that we have that expectation that so many of us deserve to be exploited and deserve such a grim existence in the wealthiest country on earth? And I just want to encourage you, we all have to dream for better, because we deserve so much more than what is happening in the US in 2025 going into 2026.